But baby, I don't want to lead you on. Not looking for something steady, not ready for that. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine, now show me what you can do. Make a move, the way my hands feel on your body. We were dancing in the dark, with every move I make you're falling. The way my lips feel on your body, the way we're moving in the dark, with every breath we take you're falling. Every breath that we're taking, with every step you're falling in love, with every move that I'm making. Every breath that we're taking, with every step you're falling in love, with every move that I'm making. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine, now show me what you can do. Make a move.
The sun is shining, there's a bit of a breeze. It's a perfect day for speed frisbee.
We have two European standouts here.
We are moments away from the opening pull now.
Deep breaths before the madness begins.
Greatest attempt! Oh my goodness, Leo to keep it alive! My brains are melting out of my ears! What is going on out there?
Women's Division champions.
Gold medal winners here on the beach. European Beach Ultimate Club champions.
Thank you and enjoy the show.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Women's Division Pool D at EBUCC 2025 here on the beach in Gdańsk, Poland. We've got Crèche the Zone from the UK versus Enmazonis from Rostock in Germany. I'm Gigi Morrison, and I'm delighted to be joined by a guest commentator, Elisa. How are you doing today? Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm happy that our games, like I'm playing here with Jinx here, so our games are ended for today, and now we can chill out before tomorrow, last game.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us. Very excited to have you here. You have a little bit of commentary experience of hers, so this is going to be your first English commentary experience at least.
Yeah, I've doing commentary like some years ago in Finland, but this is my first international. And here's the opening pool already.
Beautiful. We got Huang starting for Crèche the Zone. Crèche the Zone on offense here. The bright yellow kits. Spear.
Yeah, I checked the Crèche the Zone is looking for their first win for this tournament.
This is on the lower bracket in the women's division. First turnover. Had two receivers in Spear and Mitra, but couldn't find the right angle for the disc.
Yeah, I think the wind has been a bit tricky, especially today. Yesterday it was a bit more even maybe, but like today I feel it's like it's twirling around all the time.
Yeah, we just had the open semi-final on this pitch and it was causing a lot of havoc. There was one point that had at least 10 turnovers just as a result of the wind. First big look. Well read, pulled in. Yering has one receiver in the end zone, but also a swarm of defenders. A patient offense around the back here. Slash up the line, Jasper. And the dish into Ulrich. And Matsonis with the break to start.
Well done. I checked a bit about those two teams, and what I could find with Googling was that they are maybe usually more mixed club than single gender clubs, but nice to have like more women's team here in women's division.
Yeah, the women's division in particular I found has been really quite spicy, especially in the in the top 8 bracket at the moment has been so competitive, but it's really good to see how expansive this women's division is, and we're still getting some really high quality ultimate.
Yeah, exactly. And the Rostock is actually the club who's arranging the German beach championships for mixed. Usually they have like super nice beach in Rostock, and I bet they have like do a lot of practice also on beach. I would do if I had that kind of beach.
Some really good insider knowledge. Forward, flying bid from Wilkinson. Doesn't like the initial option. The stack is really quite deep. Massive separation from the handlers. Trying to find forward. And Shevnina. The defender was in the way. There does seem to be some sort of call. Don't see any hand signals, so it's kind of difficult to call.
Yeah, they retracted it.
Retracted stall out.
And I might even see the new hand signal, like it doesn't affect the game, you know, like swiping above your head. Yeah.
I haven't quite seen that. I need to scratch up on my hand signals, clearly.
Yeah, that's the new one. Like, looks a bit like stall out.
Oh, the closing speed. Boss absolutely bossed up the line. That was phenomenal work. Second break in a row here for Rostock. The pressure zone, I've got a little bit to answer to. I know we're only 2 points in, but quite a dominant showing so far. Crèche having had a few throwaways, but under immense pressure from this Rostock D.
Yeah, we actually played yesterday against across the zone, and they really kept grinding through the whole game. So I bet we can expect the high intensity through the whole game here.
That pull on the front corner, the end zone. Mitra. And Sevost. Flying bid from Stalin, not quite there. I loved the look, I loved the option. They seem to be looking in the right places, but not providing the correct execution necessarily.
Yeah, that has been like the seaside of the field has been like the harder one to actually like keep going. It had been easier to go on the other side.
Interesting. Oh, just off of the begloved hands of the receiver. To pick themselves back up. It was honestly really quite close. I'm pretty impressed again at the closing speed. We're seeing some really fast legs on the sand.
Yeah, like I think everyone who I had talked with is like a general thought that this is like super deep and soft sand, like especially hard for run.
Yeah, I've heard that quite a few times. We've had a few guests that are currently playing, so it's good to hear that there's a consensus that the sand is particularly difficult to run in. And the first throw, turn, Huang might have got, well, had been blocked. Ulrich. Inside backhand break to Geering. Oh, this is a bit intense so far. Now 3-0 to Invasiones Rostock. What adjustments would you want to be making if you were Crèche zone? What thoughts would be running through your mind if you're up against this kind of scoreline of 3-0?
Good question. I would think that my team should like stick with our own pace and our own game. It's like sometimes easy to just like try to kind of hop on the train with another team. But I mean, like you said earlier, because the zone is like doing the right things. I mean, like hitting the right spot, but it's just like a bit like too far away, maybe. And it's been on many games.
Yeah, definitely. Pull lands right into the lap of Ford. Quick dish back and forth. Wilkinson with a slash across the field without hesitation. Unleashes, uncorks, having to go to sand. The spear not able to quite hold on to it. Was in the right space.
Yeah, again, exactly like the right space. I really admire like how the GB team and like seeing the places and just like go for them. Like no hesitation.
And zero hesitation is required here. Wide open Voss. Some Winkel. Back to Voss. Some Winkel. Naumann. They're pretty happy just to keep it moving between the handlers. The defense is sagging off slightly, that backhand flying over the top. Naumann. Cuts have become quite stagnant. The fatigue has begun to set in. This has already been a long weekend for a lot of players here. The defense is beginning to smother, but not a problem. Again, so patient.
Yeah, it would be easy to like take the deep option and hope that someone else is gonna finish the point quick.
And another, well, that's the third clean break that we've had. Bringing it now to 4-1. Not 4-1, 4-0. That is my mistake.
No, I think we might have a like.
We have an error on the stream currently, but it is definitely 4-0. Is Mala taking on the almost high release flick, going a little bit inside out. Again, the confident grabs from Rostock. And the sun's coming out, look at that.
Maybe the storm is not hitting us.
Hopefully not. It's been threatening all day. Yesterday was a bit intense. Oh, and the run through swipe down D. Complete denial of that first pass. Crèche now setting up quite poachy. Wanting to slow down any options. Jasper throws across. Faker on the side. Jasper again. Inside break, backhand. Ooh, the Hingst. This is looking in a very certain direction, honestly.
Strong start for Rostock, super strong. I mean, like, I checked the stats that they had just got their first win over another GB team, so they are maybe like in the good winning train now. Let's see if Across the Zone has something to stop it.
Yeah, they're certainly wanting to close off this game, close off the end of the tournament for themselves. Give themselves a nice restful evening ahead of watching a lot of the bronze and finals games tomorrow. What's been your favorite game to play so far of the weekend?
I really liked the semis with the Sharks. That was a intense game, and we were looking so much forward to like playing against the Spanish team, because we know that they can also practice on sand. So
yeah, that was certainly a really fun game to watch. Wilkinson uncorking again, trying to find Spear. This connection seems to have worked time and time again. Maybe the pressure of the pitch, the drop of the wind as well. It's nowhere near as blustery, so having to readjust to that switch around. Maybe holster the shoulder a bit. Smile from Spear coming back up from the sand. It's good to see that people are still having fun.
yeah, I mean, like, I really like beach tournament vibes. There's like something special when you play on the beach.
Voss. Centers. Beautiful swing around to Sumvinkel, but just off the hands. Not quite able to maintain possession. Crèche with another opportunity forward, wanting to find Wilkinson. Instead has Sevost. High rising throw to Broadbridge, just on the end zone line. Don't really have any options other than Wilkinson. Asking a lot of Wilkinson. Goodness me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the last throw is always the hardest one.
It certainly is, and that was almost there. I think Wilkinson was maybe expecting a little bit more to run onto, or maybe a bit zippier to the chest rather than having to lean and bid for it. Dump and swing down the line. Sumvinka. Well, the no line call was effective. Really flustered the offense. 4 turnovers now, only 14 passes have happened.
Yeah, I think this point is like kind of a more mental soon. Like who wants to cry until the end?
Yeah, who will win the mental battle? And it seems to be Crèche. They get their first point on the board. Broadbridge gets her first stat of the game. And that's kind of breaking up our screen a little bit. That's quite nice. And hopefully that can give Crèche a bit more confidence and assurance that they know what they're doing, they know how to play. I do know quite a few of these players personally and know that on grass in particular, they're honestly really quite good. I don't know the background of this team specifically, so I can't actually give any background into how they've all come together, but it's really cool to see that they've brought a team to European Beach Championship.
Yeah, I went to say that actually the Across the Zone has played beats mixed, but I didn't see any previous tournaments of a women's division.
Now the Rostock O-line. Up for the first time in a little while. Ulrich. Luxemburger. Wide open Gehring in the middle. Gives it back to Luxemburger. Lady flick around, clean hold. Big cheers, 6-1.
That was an impressive score.
Certainly showing that they can get the disc moving when they really need to. The confidence that they have in each other. They seem to have a strong level of chemistry, knowing exactly where each person is going to move. I don't know whether that's as a result of existing club play in the past. So you mentioned that they have a mixed team up in Rostock and will probably already play a lot of beach, or whether it is an already well-established women's team.
Yeah, they also play like women's and open, but the beast especially is like mixed, or at least they are arranged in the beach DM.
Wilkinson calling for a cut to go a particular way. Doesn't like the options, takes on a different one. Forward. We got Huang in the end zone. That's not Huang, apologies. Can't read my numbers. It was a pretty confident catch from Ford, having to rise high. Arms going above head. Apologies, that was Broadbridge in the end zone. Well defended by Rostock. They're 1 point away from taking half, and just as I say that, the turn comes. Block from Broadbridge. It's hit for tat in terms of D.
Yeah, interesting to see how is the end zone set play, since they can start straight from the line.
Pretty much anything that you can drill here. They've got 2 set up in the end zone. The other handlers, or the other setup is handlers behind. Those 2 were initially marked out until Wilkinson was able to generate the under, now stemming the bleeding just a little bit, now 6-2.
Yeah, I personally like that there's only 2 people in the end zone, so you have so much space to cut.
Yeah, a decent amount of isolation. You've got a lot of room to play with. It does mean that some of the defenders might start to swarm in, but it also means that you've got people free behind you, so you've got options.
That's true.
We saw here, we had 3 Rostock defenders to 2 Crèche offenders. Ford initially didn't like the around look either until Wilkinson was able to call herself under and available.
Nice
Walton.
pull.
Yeah, Walton with a pull. Jasper currently unmarked, and now Force come down. Trying to find cutters, does find Gearing, but Gearing not able to secure it. Now Crèche from around about the brick mark. Huang picks up. Blady flick through the inside to Stalin. Huang receives again. Tries to find Stalin. It's just been these two for Crèche, and they seem to have found their groove. That is a break for Crèche the zone.
Yeah, the game looks totally different now than the beginning couple of scores.
Yeah, have this air of confidence about them. Something on their D-line has clicked. I'm not sure if they actually have O or D lines. They don't really have, neither of these teams have a mass amount of players that you can just flip between. This throw from Huang weighted so well. Huang having previous experience with GP Mixed. I know at least from WEGC 2016 has played for the GB Mixed team, and I believe has played for a fair few Masters teams since then. A lot of senior pedigree on this team. Senior national team pedigree. That's what I mean. Wide open dump handler utilized. Backhand bid successful. Well caught, well held onto. The flick and oh, almost. No, man. That was asking quite a lot. The release was lower than I think intended. A lot of swing through the elbow. Ford finds Wilkinson. Oh, beautiful bid. That did look painful. She's just called it. She's got sand in her nose.
Yeah, into record.
I feel like it's one of the more unfortunate injuries to get sand in a body part to then have to come off the pitch. That's really not too nice. Kurska. Just over Sevos' head. And a quick pickup from Naumann. Asamala. Over to Goodlim. Boss. Back to Goodleben. Seems to have utilized every single person on the pitch so far. Everyone's touched the disc. Mala fakes the around. Goes for the Blady to Naumann, securing the half 7-3.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate to the GB team that they didn't manage to have a longer break train, but I'm looking forward to the next half of the game.
Yeah, so Crèche will be starting on B coming out of this half, but we don't have timed halves here. It's just half at 7 because the points cap is at 13. Teams, if they need to trade sides, they will trade sides and then either start on offense or defense, opposing to what they had initially started on.
Yeah, the beats games are quite compact. Playing time way shorter than on Crèche, which is quite nice. It would
do you find that you have to change any tactics as a result of shorter games?
I mean, like, at least for my team, like, we just want to go hard on the first point. And, yeah. I think that applies also, like, on the Crèche, on the beats.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're really wanting to make yourself known, get the right energy from the start rather than try and build up and have enough time for it. Huang with the pull. Rostock getting the disc moving pretty quickly. Jasper finds Gearing. Gearing with that lady flick to Hingst on the end zone line. What a way to start the second half. Beautiful stuff. What a commanding way to keep going. Now 8-3, so 5-point separation. We're not quite halfway through in terms of time.
Yeah, there's still games for play.
We've got quite a lot more action coming up for you. So later on we've got the next game. We've got the mixed semi-final, which is going to be UFA from Portugal versus Murciélagos from Spain. It's going to be a really exciting game. We streamed UFA earlier on against Ukraine Mix, and that was an absolute peach. And then tomorrow, we've obviously got the 3 bronze medal matches, and the 3 finals that you're going to be in. And I'm very excited to watch.
Thank you.
Wilkinson back on the pitch. Hopefully sandless in the nose. Mitra. I love the look and I love the option. The execution maybe a bit rushed. The conditions have really flipped compared to earlier on in the day. It's much more still than it has been previously. Goodleben takes the dump option. Mahler back to Goodleben. Slash through the front. There's an isolated cutter in the end zone. A swarm of defenders in the way instead. Standing just outside, manages to find an option behind. They're being forced further back. This defense is really not allowing them to move quickly. Managed to swing across the other side. Another bladey option just outside of the end zone. One quick jab step cut, but Wilkinson covers it. Until it gets to the open side. And this is getting to be an even bigger separation now at 9-3.
But I think that the Crèche zone did a pretty nice job trying to slow down the end zone's offense. In Dama zones. I think end zones might be a Polish team also.
I'm actually not sure. Probably should have done my research before this, but here we are. So a slightly lower pull. Huang only has to do a little pop jump to catch. Olsen finds Huang. Beautiful inside. Shevnina. Huang. Again, that inside flick shot. Trying to find Sevos. Defender got in the way instead. Pretty straightforward block, just tapping it out of the sky.
Yeah, well read the disc. I mean, it's hard to hop on the sand, so better just like get under it.
Phenomenal way to break through the poachers. Yering providing fantastic cut. The bid is successful. Oh my goodness. That's Luxemburger for another Rostock goal. Bring it now to 10-3. And this is a really commanding performance from Rostock. We've not had the easiest ride coming to this game. They've taken a fair few losses. One of the closer games that they've had was actually on the stream against Copenhagen Spinners. They lost that on Universe 9-10. They've still had some pretty close games, like even against Seagulls, it was 13-8. Against Chronicle Dizziness, 11-8. They did get their first win, as you mentioned earlier on, against Brighton. So they faced up against another British team already and are wanting to take this one down. They have one more game tomorrow morning against Copenhagen Spinners, as far as it stands. Broadbridge. unleashes a monster of a backhand across the field to Stalin. Really good positioning. Mitrach in the end zone. Nice and easy. Confidence from Crèche. This backhand is really what opened up the field for Crèche. Mitrach providing a continuation option to give the score. Just comparatively, Crèche have lost all of their games so far in the tournament. So also going down on Universe against Copenhagen Spinners 10-11. Pretty close game against Chronicle Dizziness 6-9. And they'll be facing up against fellow British team Brighton Women. Come all the way to Poland to play a British team.
What an end for a tournament.
Exactly what everyone wanted. Ingst. Ulrich. On to Jasper. Jasper trying to find Ulrich. Ulrich does break free. Now bringing it within 2.
Yeah, that's the comfortable position to have like big lead, and then you can just do your best on the defense, but you still know that your offense can be quite relaxed. You have so many opportunities to finish the game.
They certainly can. We're seeing some really lovely offense from this Rostock team. They seem to absolutely have a lot of trust in each other and confidence. They open up the field for each other, and being able to provide that cut and that throw available to them is what is giving them the separation in the game.
Yeah, it's like super nice to watch their offense, also defense.
That pull is bricked, currently outside the pitch.
Yeah, there's a tiny mark for the brick point.
It looks like it can be quite difficult to find at times. It's just a tiny bit of tape on top of other tape.
Yep.
So Mitrach having to go to sand, not quite able to collect it, but was very, very close. That throw from Stalin asking a lot of her.
Yeah, and after a layout attempt, and then you need to run for defense, that's tough.
We do have a wide open player on this side, but instead taking the deep option. Good read on D from Ford. Taking the quick pickup across to Stalin. Finds Mitrach. Not very many cuts being generated in the right space. Everything's been shut down. Beautiful throw, my goodness. Across the broad bridge. Answers with another beautiful shot across to Walton. Walton having to go to sand, but not able to hold on.
Those deep cuts like on this sand, they are just so hard to like keep running longer.
It does look pretty exhausting as somebody that's been standing on the booth all the time. Beautiful bid. Great work from Nikki Mitrach. Great vision to spot that.
You have an ISO in the end zone.
Oh my word, Stalin. I thought that was going into the hands of the defense or right over the top, but just magnetic fingers to secure it and rip it down.
Yeah, if Crèche the zone can decide, the game is not over yet.
Yeah, they definitely don't want it to be over quite yet. They've still got plenty of beans to give. Last 2 games of the tournament being helped up by the defender. Wonderful spirit here. We're now just over 2/3 of the way through this game in terms of time. Rostock only 2 points away from securing a win. That is if Crèche don't have something to say about it.
Yeah, I bet they want to like grind till the end.
Another brick pull.
There's definitely players who has like still the endurance, the speed.
I feel like the endurance is what really helps you win these games.
Yeah. I mean, like when your legs start to burn and you still need to keep like cutting and keep cutting.
Keep cutting and keep getting those blocks.
Exactly.
Sevost finding that extra gear. We seem to have some spectators from another British team. I can't actually spot who it is on the sideline, showing their support. Low pass, but not a problem for Shevnina.
Yeah, sometimes, especially when you are on defense, it's like super important to have like the support on the sideline.
Boschka dishes over the top. Sevost. Spear. The under. Trying to find Huang. Huang is eventually available, but Spear didn't like the way that she was holding the disc. Tries to look over the top, and a secondary bid. Bid for bid. Here we go. On D.
What a performances. It's so hard to reach the disc like a bit far away when you're on the sand and you can't jump as like you would do in the crash.
I feel like, I don't know if you get this, but if you're dreaming and you start running in your dream and your brain wants you to move, but your body doesn't respond, it feels like it's almost like
Yeah, it's exactly that on beats.
Without hesitation, the deep shot comes off. Almost bubbled in the face, but hands made of glue. Ulrich, quick pop over to Jasper. That's Geering in the front corner instead, opts for the safer option. Lady over the round. That was done with a bit more conviction than we've seen.
Yeah, nice calm offense near the end zone.
A few turnovers maybe made Rostock a bit more nervous, but Crèche provided the pressure to generate those turns as well.
Yeah, sometimes it might be that if another team get too many breaks in a row, then you start to question yourself, like even the basic throws. Can I throw like flick at all? And then your game will get so hard.
Yeah, that's almost the worst part of the defense. You don't even have to be anywhere near you. You just have to sense them near you, and you're like,
yes, the aura.
The Rostock D-line, can they secure this? Or will Crèche find that extra gear? Huge bid against Allen. Oh my goodness. Safest hands on the pitch so far. Goes for the shimmy fakes, doesn't like the options. Mitra provides the under that she needs. Takes on the bladey flick. Has a receiver in the end zone, but not enough. Beans, Walton. Still a bit of a smile, but you can sense the frustration. That was a great shot. I really liked that option.
Yeah, and we also saw the high five with another team. So that's the like thing I most like in Ultimate Frisbee. You can be friends with another teams also.
A high level of respect, and that's obviously part of spirit of the game. But even beside that, just respecting each other is great to see. Huge bid! He's got full extension, Paulina Boss. Just get another look at that. See, yeah, it bubbled. She had her fingertips to it. Wilkinson. Looked off Walton. Mitra goes up the line, takes the high release flick on, has Broadbridge in the end zone and takes it on. They've gotten their hold that they need.
I love the audience support there.
It's a small bubble of people, but it's still a bubble of people. It's better than nothing. The sideline support can really make a difference in terms of the mood and energy for a team. You could switch off for a second, but then as soon as you hear somebody in support of you, it can waken you up right up again.
That's true. You can like find an energy you didn't know you still have.
Ford with a huge backhand pull. Ulrich. Trying to finish it off the big backhand blade, but Gearing was sitting right underneath the path of the disc. Really difficult read. The Crèche have got the entire length of the pitch to work up now. Wang taking her time, giving the disc a bit of a wipe, getting some sand off the edge. Immediate dish behind to Ford, who was poached in the end zone. All of the under options have been completely cut off and sealed. That is a great throw. Wang flies for Crèche. And that's a hand block. A bit to a hand block. My goodness. Ulrich with the smackdown. Jasper picks up for Rostock. Gearing in the end zone. The second reception. A sigh of relief for Rostock if they've managed to secure this win with absolute conviction. Could you give us a brief summary of the game? How was that for you?
Rostock play super nice together. Like you said, they just found it at each other on the field, like used the whole depth and length of the field. And super nice plays also for has the zone, but maybe just the last execution there it was a bit like far too too many times, like a bit far too away the disc, but like still nice intense game and like a lot of highlights. I mean, like if I would be like the social media person of either of these clubs, I would like be thrilling to watch the stream again and just like make the clips.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you were to check back on the ulti.TV Instagram later on and see a fair few clips from this game. Get a brief look at the stats so far. So the number of turns there, 17 to 11, relatively high overall. Break chances, Rostock getting 50% of their breaks in which they had an opportunity to receive. So that's a pretty good showing here. 13-6 as they move into the final game of their tournament this weekend tomorrow morning. Next up we have the mixed semi-final, and it's going to be so exciting. That's going to secure the last of the finals coming up this weekend. For ulti.TV, thank you very much for watching this game. I've been Gigi Morrison.
And I'll be Elis Pursiainen.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks.
ulti.TV.
Wanted to get it right, trying to find some balance in my life. I never really put up a fight, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay.